Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to our live stream today, where we will be comparing and looking at the Caribbean island citizenship investment programs. What are they? Why would you even need one? And what are the cost differences and options? This is a two-part series of this subject that we'll be releasing in terms of the live on our YouTube and the videos. Folks, it's all about passports, global mobility, fast track citizenship, things that you want to get immediately and you don't want to do the long process like many countries. Quick introduction. I'm Reza, the CEO and founder of Ingwe Immigration, your gateway to second, third, fourth, and even fifth residencies and citizenships beyond, no matter which country. The sky is the limit. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce an expansion of our services that opens up a world of possibilities beyond Canada. At Ingwe, we have successfully helped hundreds of clients from over 55 different countries navigate through the complex landscape of mobility and investment migration. Now we're bringing that same expertise to global markets with exciting new offerings, screening, and obviously this includes Canada, like we've always have been doing, Panama, very affordable tax-free business and lifestyle, Dubai, which is fast and great for business, Portugal, one of the most popular European residencies, which can also lead to citizenship, Malta, the only EU country selling its citizenship with no residency requirement, the Caribbean islands, which we're covering today, which are all the passport direct citizenship from New Zealand for sophisticated investors looking for that plan B in their back pocket, and they don't need to personally reside there permanently, Greece, and many more programs. Whether you're seeking a fast track residency, looking to invest in real estate abroad, to link to your immigration, aiming to retire comfortably and enhance your quality of life, or just perhaps acquire direct citizenship just for yourself, your family, or future generations. We offer a diverse range of options. We provide more than just visa assistance. We're committed to supporting you from our origin location to the final destination, helping you navigate government policies, cultural and language barriers, and to support your portfolio diversification or relocation for you and your family, depending on the opportunities that you're looking for yourself, your children, or your business. And sometimes you don't even need to relocate to obtain some of these citizenships. Our commitment remains stronger than ever to our existing and future clients with personalized service, innovative immigration solutions tailored to your needs. Our global partnerships and multilingual team speaking over 10 languages ensure that no matter where you're from or what you do or where you plan to go, you'll always have seamless support and smooth communication with our expertise from our office here. Today, we're covering the direct citizenship investment program of these countries: Antigua, Barbuda, St Lucia, St Kitts and Nevis, Dominica, and Grenada. These are the Caribbean islands, each of one of them being an independent country that is offering a citizenship investment program, which we called CIPs. These offer direct citizenship, meaning you will receive the passport without actually having to reside there first in these countries. You will be a passport holding citizen of any of these countries by having the investment funds available, criminal clearance report, and medical. The process is very fast, faster than any other program you could imagine. The initial approvals can come in between 45 to 60 days, and then you can make the investment or donation, after which another 4 to 6 months to process your citizenship and passport for you and your dependent family. The passport can be couriered directly to you in your home country if you wish. The citizenship is for life, and you can include your spouse, common law, dependent children, and even in some of these programs, your siblings who may be single. These programs are very different than all other immigration programs out there in the US, Canada, Panama, Europe, and Far East that we're covering, as they mainly require residency. So these programs, let's say in North America and Europe, most of them, including New Zealand, will require some sort of residency in those countries, some kind of proof of language eventually for their passports to become eligible. But with these CIP programs, citizenship investment programs of these Caribbean islands that we're covering today, you can travel visa-free to over 140 different countries around the world. This means that if you get up in the morning and decide to visit Spain or France the same day, you just hop on a plane and arrive without the embassy hassles and visa processing. That's it. That's how simple it is. None of these programs require education or language ability or proof of work experience. The other big advantages is tax-free citizenship on your global income. They don't want anything to do with it. These are huge advantages of these programs, in addition to the fast processing times and very relaxed proof of funds compared to the US EB5, the Canadian Entrepreneur Provincial programs, or even the New Zealand program, which are way more strict and time consuming. Now that you know what these citizenship investment programs are about, you'll need to compare and see which one fits your requirements and what the budgets are so you can prepare. Typically, these program budgets for investors seeking fast track passport of these countries ranged from 100,000 US to 180,000 before July 1st, 2024. But after which, all of them increased their prices to specific floor price due to a memorandum and agreement they had signed together, in which case you cannot find any budget below which will require donation or investment of 200,000 US or more at the current time. Typically, they will range 230,000 to 270,000 for these popular programs. The investment or donation is one component of the process, but your legal fees, the due diligence, government fees will depend on how many dependents are part of your application, how many children you have, your spouse, if you're adding, parents or grandparents, all that. And you'll need to add these additional fees on top of this investment or donation. Let's compare the programs in detail. And we have a comparison chart that we're posting with this article and video on our website after this live stream, where you can see all the details in one shot. The lowest donation offering for any of these citizenship investment programs that we're covering today is at $200,000 by the island of Dominica. And of course, all the other islands start at least at 230,000 or more for the donation, but Dominica starts at 200. These donations mean that you, as the investor applicant, will be paying a donation directly to the government of that country, either for an economic, social, or educational fund. There's no ROI or return of funds, and you have no control of how the funds are used by the government. It's theirs. It's a donation. You will be paying this amount in return for a citizenship in that country. So paying you the donation, I'm getting citizenship. It's quite simple. These countries require these donations to build infrastructure and facilities and services for their citizens living there, right? Of course, all these countries also offer real estate investment options, which can range anywhere from 300,000 US to 400,000 and higher, depending on the size and location and whether it's real or just fictional on paper. Of course, Dominica is the lowest price real estate option as well amongst these islands at 200,000. But keep in mind these two factors. A, this is not a unit you will actually own, but a share in a future project. B, the government fees to process the main applicant depends can be over 100,000 US for the real estate option for Dominica, which makes it on par with other countries if you look at it. And remember, folks, you got to look at total cost of ownership, not just the headlines. Don't be fooled by them, but always read the fine print and do your calculations. St. Lucia also offers a government bond investment option, unlike other countries, which may be a suitable option for many investors looking for something in between that donation and a real estate investment. And it starts at 300,000 US with a government admin fee of 50,000, in addition to the due diligence processing and the legal fees required, depending on your family size. Again, I want to remind you, everyone, that the total cost is fully dependent on the age of your children, the total number of dependents that you are including in your application for any of these countries. If you're not looking for the cheapest programs, well, which is Dominica, and are shopping around for solid, high-quality donation program, we would recommend Antigua and Barbuda. For example, a donation for a family of 5 will cost you about 283,500 US all in with government due diligence and legal fees. However, if your children are 18 or older, you will need to add 6,000 US as a total cost that I mentioned because of their age. These prices are valid now in 2024, and by next year, these could change. Nobody knows. The same family size of 5 for Grenada will cost you only the donation option at this point for this example will cost you 324,000 US or higher. And if your children, and that's if your children are over the age of 17. If they're under the age of 17, you can reduce this total cost by 3,000 US. Again, depending on whether your family is a total of 3, 4, or 7 dependents, these prices can be lower or higher, right? So don't expect to be paying the same amount for somebody who has 1 child versus somebody who has 4 children, right? And the children's age will also matter. Some islands will have different pricing for children's ages 16 or lower, higher 17 or 18. And this is an important factor. St. Lucia, the donation option for a family of 5 will cost you a total of about 285,975 US dollars if all the kids are under the age of 16. In such cases, I would probably suggest you to go through their bond investment program instead, which will be more feasible. That will cover in the part 2 of this video series on Caribbean citizenship investment programs for direct immediate passports. The same family size of 5 in St Kitts and Nevis would cost you about 317,500 for a family of 5 if the children are under the age of 16. If the ages are higher, you can expect significantly higher donation amounts for this island, St. Kitts. These total costs include legal fees, due diligence, government process, online interview fees, and of course, a donation to the government fund for these countries. You may have options, and depending on your ultimate goal, which countries you want to travel with, the passport, the type of investment, and your long-term tax plan, you can receive a custom solution and recommendation from us. Not all CIPs are created equal, and we can explain to you why and how, which program would be the most cost-effective solution for your next citizenship or passport. We offer full support in your own language, discounts for larger families, and we can even do a soft due diligence check with some of these countries to reduce your chances of refusal and losing your initial deposit. We don't take all the investment funds up front. You don't need to. Nobody should, right? You do only pay the initial deposit for the due diligence. You'll receive a detailed checklist from us, and we'll work with you to make sure your entire family is eligible and will be included. We work with our registered partners of these islands, of the citizenship investment program. Will assess your case before moving it to the government stage to make sure no surprises later on. Okay. And of course, folks, stay tuned for our part 2 series of this video of the Caribbean Island investment programs leading to citizenship, where we cover the following key questions and points you need to know before making a decision to move forward. How many generations will the citizenship be passed on to later on, right? You have kids, more kids, your children have kids. How many generations can the citizenship be passed on? That's a key question that many people miss, right? I mean, if they get passed on 2 generations or 5, that should make a huge difference. If you have to pay a little bit more for that, wouldn't you? Which of these CIPs countries allow siblings to be included in your application? Which one can include your parents and grandparents? And what are the eligibility criteria? Which countries are part of these CIPs have the max age allowance for dependent children? What if your child is age 28 or 32? Which of these programs can offer you money back for your investment? So instead of donation, maybe it's a real estate, maybe it's a bond. Where in these countries can you recover your investment after 3 to 5 years? Benefactors. What if you don't have the money yourself, but one of your family members, parents, grandparents, uncle, close friends, or partner is funding the process with you, for you, but without being an applicant? Which real estate offerings are real, meaning you will actually own a bungalow or unit ready to visit instead of a future theoretical project on paper, in which you will technically own shares and not tangible? Which of these countries requires you to do at least 1 day or longer visit after you become a citizen in order to maintain a citizen, and which ones do not? Which ones have a great medical university that allows your child to potentially become a doctor in the US without studying in the US beforehand? There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of details. There's a lot of fine print. There's a lot of things that are not out there that you may not be aware of, right? It's like purchasing anything, a mobile phone, a car, but this one's a big investment. It's for you, your family, your children, and next generations. You should be asking the right questions, but what are the right questions? You've never bought a passport or done a citizenship investment program. So you should have somebody working for you that can ask the right questions and tell you where the scams are, where it's all about fluff and where it's tangible, and depending on what you're looking for. There you go. We got some audience. I got Safa. Nice to see you, Safa. Yeah, we're not talking about Canadian immigration today, so that's why we got less audience members. And we got Alman. Hello, Reza. Hello back, Alman. But yeah, we've covered the Caribbean island citizenship programs. We'll do a quick outro, and then if any questions on any program, so the questions in our YouTube live, folks, that we're doing every week don't have to be on the subject. It can be Caribbean islands, it can be startup visa Canada, it can be EB5 US, it could be Portugal golden visa, Malta residency, Panama, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Dubai, you name it. Thank you for tuning into our video, a live stream, unedited, uncensored, just to expose truth. If you see the potential for yourself, your family, or your clients in securing a second, third, fourth, or fifth citizenship or residency, make sure to stay connected with us for the latest updates and opportunities in global residency and citizenship. At Ingwe, we're dedicated to crafting solutions that meet your specific immigration needs with clear, upfront processes and payment milestones for peace of mind. We offer a variety of programs to match your goals, backed by our expert guidance. Our commitment to you, well, it's transparency, choice, and security. With a comprehensive insurance and client trust account, Canadian banks, we protect your interests. Plus, our multilingual team supports applicants from over 55 different countries. Ready to take the next step? Click the link down below in this video. If you want a personal guidance, you can also book a one-on-one consultation with me or any of my team members at our office using the consultation link, which has been provided to you in this description of this video and this future article. And of course, we're on YouTube live stream, so we have audience members asking questions. You can ask anything. You can ask about the weather, but any type of immigration program that is within investment and business migration. Folks, remember, that is our expertise. Jai Jewel, hi Reza, nice to see you. Hello, Jai. Please, I finally got my SUV, which is the Canadian Startup Visa permanent application number. I submitted in 2021. Oof, Jai, good news. I know it took a long time. We do have clients that have taken a long time and we're stuck in that backlog post-COVID, and they're slowly getting through. So that is amazing news. Hopefully in the next 6 to 12 months, you will have a decision on your PR, hopefully this year. We do have clients that applied in 2024 and they're already under review. So it's ridiculous. I know. Don't shoot the messenger. Safa says, I received a message from RCC requesting an additional medical exam for my daughter, even though we recently completed one and it's still valid. She was 12 at the time and she's now 13. Well, is there any specific reason for this? There may have been something on the report, so I'm not sure about your daughter's health, Safa. Hopefully all is well, but if they saw an abnormality, that could be the cause, that, you know, like the clinic has put in something, so they want to double check that. That's usually what I see if it's not expired. Like if it's expiring now, that's a different story, but if it's still valid, then there may have been something that they want to double check. So you would know better. F777, hi Reza, how much time requires to get endorsement from Fort McMurray? Right now, endorsements are paused until end of September when the Alberta PNP is launching their new expression of interest. Okay, folks? Samir Nath, now since there's a deliberate reduction in the number of work permits being granted, is it now tricky for essential members to also apply for their spouse's open work alongside their closed work? No, that's more for the education front, Samir. That's more for the education front. They've already capped startup visa applicants with the cap of 10 groups per endorsing body for startup visa. So that's already capped. So they'll just process the work permits based on eligibility. It is not affected by the international student and the spousal work permits, all those complications that they're putting in now to limit that. Startup visa is already capped. Whoever is eligible, whoever has a letter of support, a valid one, can apply for work permit with their dependent, because you're all C-level positions, executive level positions. These are all high knock codes, so it's not affected. Safa, I have the old test and it was clear, however, it will be expired in November, so it's close anyway. Could be. It's a bit unusual that they'll ask for it now, but either way, you'd have to get it done as soon as possible, Safa. And folks on our YouTube live, if you're watching this later on in the future, hello people in the future, the way it works is we have a subject that we present, whether it's citizenship investment programs, direct passports, EB5 US for your conditional green card that will become permanent, Portugal golden visa, Malta, Bulgaria, Cyprus residencies that will allow you EU mobility, or Panama for that tax-free amazing passport that you don't even need to live there. You can ask any questions in our YouTube comments and channel, no matter if it's about Canada, US, Panama, Europe, or anywhere around, even New Zealand investor program where we're licensed to work. Jai Jewel says they requested for some documents though, which includes a new POF amongst other documents like a new police clearance, new Schedule A. That's very normal, Jai, because so much time has passed. You still have to meet the eligibility criteria for startup visa permanent residency. Proof of funds, police clearance certificates have all expired. Travel history has to be updated. Your situation with the family, your residential address, your work history, everything. And they may come in and also ask you for a business update, Jai. So you got to be careful. You got to be ready. Samir Nath, hi. For essential members who's in Canada on a closed work permit, meaning for Startup Visa Canada program, can they still apply for the spouse's open work permit with the spouses overseas, and is it more complicated? No, still the same, Samir. Nothing's changed. Jai Jewel, I have a property that I want to liquidate. Can it be used for proof of funds? How do I go about doing it? Jai, you can do that. You provide proof of the title deed, the transfer, the purchase sale agreement. However, they expect you to hold those funds. So you do need to show a statement of 6 months. So if you didn't have the funds now and you're just selling it, there may be an issue because you should have had these funds with you and your spouse, for example, and you should have shown a history of 6 months. Maybe the property was sold a while back. It can be sold now too. But if you didn't have this money before and you have it now, it can trigger a red flag. Safa says, thanks for how much appreciated. As an update, we're now fully engaged in the pre-arrival services webinars. Good. That's good. I mean, it won't affect your PR processing. Or so that's just a very optional thing, Safa, to, research about your settlement to Canada with your family. That is in no way linked to, the IRCC officer looking at your PR now or processing your PR. Zaber Talpur. Hello, sir. Is Think a Global Institute a priority list of SUV program? No, it is not, Zaber. No, it is not. They actually post all their prices on their website. If you are looking for priority incubator, we do have access in case you're interested to be introduced to these designated organizations or groups. Where are you from, Zaber, by the way? Just out of curiosity, which country are you residing? What passport do you hold? But ThinkAid is not. If you're interested, you can reach out to us. I'll put our email address. That's our email address, folks. You can reach out and tell us what you're looking for if it's a priority designated organization under the Startup Visa program. And again, folks, if you're watching this in the future and you tuned in because of the Caribbean Citizenship Investment Programs, well, at the end of our live streams, which is uncensored, unedited, and raw, we do have a live session where we talk about all kinds of investment, business, immigration programs, whether it's EB5 US or Startup Visa Canada or the Golden Visas in Portugal, Spain, Greece, Malta, Panama, New Zealand, Dubai, Portugal, Bulgaria, Cyprus, and so on. Zaber, I'm from Pakistan. Okay, Zaber. Well, let us know, Zaber. You can. We do actually have a group from Pakistan right now who's getting a lot of support, and they have availability, and it's with one of the top incubators in the country. Right now, we've had 4, 5, 6 groups which were processed through a priority incubator and a designationalization. And funny enough, folks, they're getting processed in less than 12 months. I know that sounds crazy. We have 2 groups which are on a fast track right now. I think they're going to literally break a record in terms of Canadian startup visa. So that's the key. If you're going to non-priority, I don't recommend it. It is bad. I've been seeing it. It's slow, and you're just pushing the priority ones ahead, and they're processing them super fast, which is very unlike the Canadian government. Anyways, Zaber, if you're interested, reach out to us. Happy to get on a quick call. Jajo, but as a business, we can keep monies for that long. It's been 3 years already. I know you don't need to show 3 years, Jai, for your minimum settlement funds, but 6 months average balance. Okay, it is a requirement. Samir Nath, for SUV founders, if they showed a sales projection for their first year of startup visa, you're in the reflection. Hello. For SUV founders, if they showed a sales projection for the first year of startup, but were not able to generate any revenue, will this be a major negative point as it's against their submitted? No, it's a business plan. It's a projection. No startup will have immediate sales. You have to try to get clients on board, even if they pay or don't pay. But that's very normal, Samir. If you do have some revenues, amazing, but you do not have to match those projections for the first year. No startup can match those. I mean, it's literally mission impossible. And folks, we're just answering some questions on startup visa. But if anyone has questions on any other points, whether it's passport programs, investment programs in any country that we're covering, you can tune into our YouTube channel, our live stream, which we usually do every Thursday. And you can subscribe to our channel to be notified when we're live or when we release key videos. And this was a part 1 of 2 Caribbean Citizenship investment programs for direct passport without any hassles of education or language to allow you to travel visa-free to over 140 countries. And we're releasing the second video by next month. NAS Networks, how much SUV priority programs of group of 5? Well, NAS, it depends on the designated organization and your business concept of who you are. I don't really quote prices out of the blue. If you're interested, I'll send it to us. If you're shopping for prices, I don't think I'll be the right organization for you. If you're looking for dirt cheap prices with people who have no clue what they're doing and won't support you for the couple of years that it requires. Jajul, what other POF proof of funds can be applicable? Bonds, funds, equities, investments, term deposits. I was thinking of getting an affidavit from a high court in my country to show that I have the funds, but it's tied up in property. No, that doesn't count. Like affidavit that you have property, the court's telling you it cannot be in a fixed asset like that, okay? Because it's not liquidatable, right? You need to be able to liquidate it in 24 hours. That's what settlement funds is. It's not investment funds, it's settlement funds for PR. Also, my letter did not indicate Nova Scotia at the bottom. Yeah, sometimes there's nothing at the bottom. So there's no location sometimes there's no officer ID. Don't worry about that. They're all sort of load balancing. Samir Nath, for SUV applicants teams in the priority processing batch who started in August 24, is it wrong to estimate that they may possibly get a PR decision before end of 2024? No, not at all. Not at all. It's very realistic now, Samir. Donnie Rich, it's Antigua the best for a family of 6? Antigua is one of the best ones, Donnie. So good question. On the citizenship investment programs, so some of the islands have pretty good offerings for larger families, and some of them, like if they have a good deal for larger families, if you're a small family, it may not be as feasible. But for large families, Antigua is one of the best, right? So with a very small incremental increase, you can apply for family. Is it 5 or 6? I can't because youth 6. Yeah, it is the best deal in the market. Okay, if you're looking to get your money back, I would recommend the St Lucia bond program. Okay, because in 3 years you can get your money back. That's one option. But if you're looking for real estate investment, I would still stick to the Antigua. If you're looking for donation, I would still stick to the Antigua. John Jewel, thank you, Reza. Well, I need to show 2 proofs of funds, one for family summit and the other initial company running costs. Yeah, proof of funds will be different. So one is for investment separately, one is for your family. It can be multiple accounts and you can accumulate them and add them up. As long as it's under your name and your spouse's name. If it's joint account, then you will have to have a attestation from your husband that you have full access to the remaining funds, because if you split it in half, it could be, that's how they calculate it. Donnie Rich, with the UW program, it's announced 300,000 now. So Donnie Rich, of course, these are all updated prices that we covered today as of July 1st, 2024 onwards. The bond program is 300,000 US plus a 50,000 admin fee plus the due diligence and whatnot for St Lucia. If you go with Antigua, I'll give you a quick overview actually, since you're asking now. With the Antigua, like if you go real estate option, it's $300,000 or more, and if you want a tangible option, it may be a little bit more to get like a bungalow, right? Just a bit more. And of course, the donation starts at 230,000 for family of 4 for Antigua, and you have to add additional dependents based on their age. It's very important if they're age 12 to 17, over 18, under 12. All these things will affect the price. But if you do want to do real estate in Antigua, it is probably the only one where you actually can buy something real. You can feel it. It's there. If you want to get your money back, you can also sell it after a certain timeline. But the St. Lucia bond program would be your other option. But if you want to keep it under 300,000, Donnie Rich, yeah, you just go with the donation option. And Antigua is one of the better options. And you can rewind this video when it's posted afterwards and see some of the calculations we've done for family 5. Great question, by the way, Donnie Rich. NAS Network says, if you choose priority processing under the Canadian startup visa, how soon will the LOS be released? Oh, the LOS, the letter of support, NAS, depends on the designated organization. That's not prioritized. The PR processing is. So the organization can take 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, whatever they want to issue your letter of support. That's different. The processing of the PR is what is prioritized, not the letter of support. Samir Nath, which Caribbean passport has a trade agreement with Canada for business visas, investments, also with the US E2 visa? Great question, Samir. So Grenada is the only one that has E2 status with the US. None of them have a bilateral agreement with Canada that allows E2 type of activities, okay? But Grenada is the only one that will have E2 status with the US. So great question, Samir. Thank you for diversifying your questions. I appreciate that effort. Jai Jewel, I'll need to have a lump sum in my account now because we turned over the monies in the account 3 years ago, so we could get more. Okay, well, you got to be careful, Jai. If suddenly you got a lump sum and you didn't have money for the past 6 months, that can be a red flag. And yeah, so you got to figure things out. If you've got investments, term deposit, you or your husband, right? You got to engineer this. So your legal representative has to really guide you on this closely. So you don't give something to the government where your file may be affected. You're after waiting for 3 years. I mean, Vilas Tessa, hi Reza. It's been 2 months that my team submitted answers to the IRCC questions like updates to the business plan, police clearance, such other. Where are we positioned? Just a guess. It's a tough one, Vilas says. Again, I'm refraining from giving estimates on timelines right now because I've got groups that are stuck since September, since they've given updates of last year, and I've got people who have given updates this year and have received their PRs. It's a tough one. Again, we won't know the correct timelines for these until January when we see some visible, clear ideas. Right now, but though, this is what we've seen with the Startup Visa Canada program. The processing has started and it's in fast track. Like the IRCC is trying to pump out decisions for study visa applicants as of September onwards. Like we're going to see a hyperdrive between September to mid-December for them to meet their quotas, because I think they were really not doing much between early March to August, end of August. Okay, so that's all we know. We can't predict further than that. Donnie Rich, University of West Indies for Antigua. I think it's around 260 for the main donation. Yeah, Donnie Rich, you've done your homework. I like it. You're one of those guys who's been going all around. Yeah. We have ties with them. Great university, if you want to pay, because what happens is if you come to Canada or US, it's very competitive. It could even cost you higher. Plus, to get into these countries is very complicated. So it is, Antigua is a great place, and even if you don't buy the citizenship, you can still send your child there to pay for that university degree, for them to become a medical doctor, so they can actually be licensed in the US. And if they're licensed in the US, it's actually pretty easy to get licensed in Canada because there's bilateral agreements. Jai Jul, I saw from your YouTube page that the peer review has been put on hold now. Does it mean that the immigration officer sharks are gone? No, the peer review was useless in the first place. That was the designated organizations and the regulatory bodies like NACO. They were doing the peer review with their colleagues. RCC didn't believe in that system, didn't really send a lot, except the ones that they really suspected and were really bad. And so that process was useless. It wasn't used as much, so they just scrapped it, and they scrapped the regulatory bodies like NACO and the CVCA because they didn't want any new designations of organizations, so they didn't need them. Their contracts had expired. Done deal. So it doesn't affect the processing of IRCC PRs for startup visa in Canada. Vilas says ours is priority processing. Yeah, Vilas, as I said, priority processing, you're good to go. So you may get a decision this year. Yeah. So if you're priority, Vilas, good point. You may get a decision this year. I've got several groups right now that applied from September last year. I have a group that applied, can you believe it, folks, in March this year. And they're already under review. I think they're going to get their PR confirmation in December. It's crazy. Priority processing. Crazy. I mean, I don't know. Everything is crazy these days. Samir Nath, but does Grenada have a trade agreement with Canada for the Canadian business investment? No, they don't, Samir. Where they don't need to prove social economic benefits. No, Samir, they don't. You can get ETA status with all these countries except Dominica to Canada, meaning electronic travel authorization to travel visa-free, if you've previously had a U.S. or Canadian visitor visa, study permit, work permit. But there's no bilateral agreement that will create bilateral, reciprocal benefits for the citizens of both countries to travel and set up companies and businesses and get work permits without having a significant social, cultural, or economic benefit. So if that's what you're looking for, Samir, I would say you had to look at other countries. Okay. There are other countries in South Central America that have bilateral agreements, and even the European Union. Right. So if that's what you're ultimately looking for Canada, I can make some recommendations if you've got the budget. If you're looking for US, well, Grenada, Panama also has E2 status, but it's not an immediate passport. It takes 5 years. You only live there 1 day every 2 years, and it's tax-free, and it's a real estate option with an ROI 5 to 6% per year on your rental income. Anyways, I said that very fast. You can watch this video in slow motion later. Jai Jul, aside the initial questions on the request letter for the start of visa program, do they ask further questions? We'll just wait for the decision from. Yes, they will ask business update questions, Jai, in terms of the business, the people involved, and so forth. Okay, that's a given in most 99% of cases of the Canadian Startup Visa program. And folks, if you tuned in for the Caribbean Citizenship program, today's live, and you're like, why are they talking about Canadian Startup Visa? Well, the Canadian Startup Visa is probably it is the only federal program in Canada, business immigration program that allows direct PR. And second is our YouTube Live is open to everything and anything related to investment migration. Folks, we do not specialize in education. We do not specialize in skilled workers. We specialize in the investment and business migration programs, whether it's the Startup Visa Canada, whether it's the EB5 US, Portugal, Malta Golden Visas, Panama, Greece, New Zealand investor residency program where we are licensed, or the Quebec immigrant investor program, which is a little bit costly and a little bit tricky, but hopefully in the future years they'll make it easier. And we're also licensed in Quebec, by the way, to do that. So we've got it all covered, no matter what you want. Okay. So we got other questions. Jai says, thank you so much, First, as always. God bless you. Thank you, Jai, for the positive vibes. NAS Network says, I was trying to understand the timeline for the priority program, for the start of Visa Canada program. Could you assist the typical processing times? Could you assist for both the normal and priority from the start of the application until the PR approval? Yeah, could you assess the typical processing times for the start of Visa priority versus non-priority? Priority we're seeing within 12 months. That's what we're seeing right now. And non-priority can take 2-3 years. We don't know. There's no finite timeline for that right now. We're not doing a lot of non-priority. We're pushing and recommending highly to do just priority startup visa endorsements. Vilas Desai, yesterday's announcement by the Minister Milo LMI, does it apply for higher wage employees for Quebec? Vilas, I have no idea. I'll be very honest with you. I have disconnected completely from LMIAs, except 200 points, skilled immigration, education. All we do now is investment and business migration. That is our focus. And Canadian immigration is becoming too tight in all those other aspects, besides the Canadian Startup Visa program. Therefore, we are just focusing on our niche strength, which is the business immigration side and investment. Samir Nath, if one of the essential members on close work in Canada for the Startup Visa program only stays in Canada for less than a month in the full year, is that a major negative point? Yes, it is, Samir. If the officer picks up on that, which they may, very likely, they'll start zooming in. Why did you get a work permit? What did you do? Why were you here a month? Right? So the progress will be scrutinized hardcore. For Panama passport, does one need to learn Spanish? Very good question. I like these questions. It's like Chat GPT questions. Yes, and I'll explain to you how. So in Panama, you invest 300,000 US today in September. In October, it's changing to 500,000 US, folks, for Panama Golden Visa. Okay, but again, if you're from friendly nations, that investment amount is significantly lower. So what happens here is you reside there 1 day in every 2 years, and after 5 years, you can become eligible for citizenship. When you apply for citizenship, you need to take a cultural exam, right? Okay, the cultural exam is in Spanish. Now, here's the trick. We have the questions for that exam because it's been there like the same thing for 20 years. So you get it maybe 6 months in advance and you can start studying, just kind of like a parrot, learn the words and fill the answers. So technically, you can get away without learning Spanish. Voila. There you go. I hope that answer satisfies you. Folks, great meeting you all. On next week, we're going to talk about other programs, citizenship, investment, and business migration. We've got a part 2 series of the Caribbean Citizenship Investment Program where we dive deep into some of those great questions that nobody tells you about, and that'll be released in October. But next week, again, we've got our live and more videos for you. Jajul, how can I add a member to my startup visa application? I just got a new designated, and I want to bring him along. Designer. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that, Jai. That you're way past that point. Do not do that. Do not do that. Okay. No. You don't want to do that. That will throw everything into a tailspin for your existing application, which has been pending since 2021. You do not want to add, because you have the designated organization has to reissue the commitment certificate and letter of support, and that'll just be just don't do that. Okay, that's like going half in the middle of brain surgery and asking the surgeons to stitch up the brain so you can go have a vacation, come back and continue on the brain. It just doesn't work that way. Okay. Thanks, folks. Appreciate it. See you next week. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to know when we're online to answer any business investment migration. And we've got some great videos coming up your way. Jajul, haha, I was just thinking aloud. Yeah. No, don't worry. I'm here to help. I'm not here to judge. I just want to make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Thanks, folks. Don't forget to like the videos and subscribe. We'll be back here next week more exciting live streams and our great audience. Jai Jewel, NAS Networks, Vilas Desai, Samir Nath, Safa Salah, as always. Donnie Rich, great questions for tuning in today. Zaber Talpur, connect with us. F777, Almon, everyone, thank you so much. And people in the shadows who never come and ask questions. Thank you for joining in too. Take care, folks. Have a good one. Bye-bye.